needed so that we can fulfill that mission. Yes, you're going to go through some trials. Yes, you're going to go through some hard, fiery trials. But God is going to, He has already, the way has already been made. He already have protection. It's laid out. He know what you're going to go through. He know what you're going to face. It's already laid out. To accomplish the mission that God have given you, keep this in mind. You were called with a purpose. You have a mission to accomplish. To accomplish this mission, God is going to see to it that it's done. He has already provided the protection. Things are going to happen. If we could keep in mind, Brother Paul was not afraid of anything. He wholly had given himself over to the Lord. He wholly trusted the Lord. When that viper fastened on him, the people looked for him to swell up. He didn't look to swell up. See, that's where we make our mistake at. If a snake was to bite us,
OMG.
if a snake was to bite us, you'd be looking up. Oh my God, you looking to swell. You looking up. See, they looked for the swelling. Brother Paul didn't. He went on about his business. Because he knew what God's word said.
Hallelujah.
Whew.
His word said it.
He knew what God's word said. He knew how God would protect you. He didn't even look to swell. He didn't even look to die. And that was a poisonous snake. He didn't look to die. Because God said it. See, we don't trust God like that. First thing we look to see, are we swelling? So we on our way to the hospital because we on our way. Ain't no sense like we already on our way. I can't breathe. Oh my God, I can't breathe. Oh God, I ain't breathing. I can't. And you breathe and you breathe.
No, you can't breathe anyway.
That's just the way it is. We got to believe God. He is going to keep you until you fulfill your mission. That is why, saints, we better be on our job. Now, if you're not on your job, ain't no need in him keeping you here. I'll say that one more time. I want you to get it. If you're not doing what God called you to do, why should he? Ain't no need in keeping you. You see what I'm saying? Amen. But if you're on your mission, it said death could not do nothing with Brother Paul. Because they tried to kill him. Death couldn't do nothing with him. Don't look like he could die until his mission was accomplished. When his mission was accomplished, he said, the time of my departure.
And hey, I have fought a good fight.
I have
Kept the faith. Finished my course or something. Yeah, he was through.
when you have did. But while you accomplishing this mission, I don't care what you in danger, you need to keep that in mind. God gonna keep you here. He told Paul. Now when that ship was breaking up, oh Lord have mercy, looked like all hope. And it was talking about the many times that Paul had been in a situation where it looked like all hope of being saved was. Paul was in a death situation many a time. Hey, it's ain't nothing that human can do. We gonna die. We gonna die. But God had a mission for Paul. And God told Paul, you will appear before Caesar. I don't care how the ship break up. I don't care how the storm is raging. You will appear. You have a mission. And you're going to appear before Caesar. You will appear before him. And my God, when the ship was breaking up, they was looking crazy because they knew wasn't no way they could be saved. Paul stepped out. Ooh, Lord have mercy. The man stepped out in the midst of nothing, in the midst of death. He stepped out in the midst of death and said, sirs, you should have listened to me and you wouldn't have had to go through this. But since you didn't listen, this man coming out with all confidence.
Yeah. Sirs, if you had only listened.
And death is all around him. He stepped out with all confidence and said what?
Sirs,
After he said all that, then he say, and I,
Believe God.
one more time, I,
Believe God.
one more time,
I
will no harm come to anyone,
Jesus.
but to lose, you're going to lose the ship. And guess what? Not a one was lost. They came in on bits and pieces, broken pieces of the ship, but they came in because brother Paul, God got a work for you to do. He is going to provide protection. You are going to be faced with problems. You're going to be faced with difficulties. But God has already made the way. Now, Sister Barnes, okay, read the introduction read the introduction. We're going to open this up. And
Paul opened his second letter to the believers in Corinth by acknowledging God as the Father of mercies and the God of all comfort. He wrote from a heart filled with joy based on his experience, for he had received the mercy and comfort of God on many occasions.
Brother Paul went through more than any. He said,
Anybody.
you know what he said?
Hey.
He said, I am least of the apostles. He said, I am the least. He was born out of due time. He was the last one. But nevertheless, this man suffered more than any of them. He went through more than any of them. He said, by the grace of God. What else did he say? By the grace of God.
I am what I am.
That I am. By the grace of God. I am what I am by the grace of God. But he was the least because he persecuted the saints. Yes, this man had the saints killed.
Yes, he did.
Lord,
by the grace of God.
But he said, by the grace of God, I am what I am. God's grace. Lord, have mercy. But Brother Paul went through some stuff.
Yes, he did.
He needed more protection than any of the apostles.
They hated Paul.
Paul went through some things. But nevertheless, Paul never, he knew that God, he trusted God. He knew that God was going to protect him. Saints, we got to have that confidence. You are on a mission.
Hey.
You're not going to be killed before your mission is accomplished. You know, when Pastor went through what he went through, Pastor said he stopped in the middle of it, and he said, Lord, are you telling me I am going to die this way? And God told him, well, you heard many times what he said, that the Lord told him. No, you was not finna die that way. But he said so many times Paul was in the face of death. He said, we are despairing on every side. We are perplexed, but Lord have mercy, they went through some things. And he said many a time his life wasn't no way he could have got out of it. But it was God, because God, he was on a mission. You are not going to die before your mission is accomplished if you're working on your mission. That's why we tell you, you better be doing something for the Lord. And don't need him keeping you here if you just sitting here doing nothing. Listen, saint, sitting here doing nothing. God saved you for a purpose and a reason. You got to do what God saved you for. You got to get up and do. And when you do that, God is going to protect you. When God told me, he said, you will appear before Caesar. All right. God had told us that. You done had dreams and things. You done had, well, we'll say prophecy. And you get faced before in something and it look like all hope is gone. You forget about that thing. But God done said and told you you gonna do this or that or at a later date. Right. See, we forget about these things. But see, Paul didn't. He believed God. God will protect his people. I don't care what you got to go through. Okay?